In the Alert Center, I'm Rob Krieger. The lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish arrested on drug charges. Darius Rucker was taken into custody in Tennessee by police in Franklin. That's just south of Nashville. According to the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, the 57-year-old former lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish was released on bond. Rucker was charged with simple possession and casual exchange in violation of registration law, but authorities did not go into the detail of what substance he had in his possession. In a statement, Rucker's attorney says Darius is fully cooperating with authorities related to misdemeanor charges. That's the latest from the Alert Center. Kelsey, back to you.